Hello boys, Mordarim here. Today with another Fire Aura build, right? A Spellblade build. As you can see down here, we are utilizing Firebrand, we are utilizing Manastrike, Enchant Weapon, Search and Fire, Flame Ward, right? So I will show you a little bit of gameplay right now.
Cannot do that. I 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 cannot do that.
Okay, so that was the gameplay. Now let's go over our skills and the mechanics of this build. So first up, we want Search. We pick up the most important spell passives, right? Storm Battery, Insulation and Fulmination on this one. What does this one do? When we have Search on cooldown, we can attack enemies with our fast attacking spells and stack up Storm Battery, the dormant energy stacks, to 10. This will increase the damage of our Search, but that's secondary. What we really want is Insulation for 30 watt per stack. So we have 10 stacks, right? 10 stacks. And we use the spell combined with Stormmakers, we get 450 watt. That's extremely strong. Next up is Fulmination. Fulmination is giving us a 100% chance to gain Fire Aura stacks when we use charges. Like when we have 10 charges, we gain 10 Fire Aura stacks. So we can get up to around 30 Fire Aura stacks. That's really, really strong. Flaming Surge and Pyroclasm is also nice to have, but not really mandatory. So those are essential, so that's 18 points until this spell is really strong, but I will always go this route first, pick up Stormmakers then, and Flaming Surge next. Then Flame Ward. Flame Ward, standard here, you pick up this route to get the additional damage mitigation, you get 250 increased fire damage when you have this one active, and you get Fire Aura when you use the spell, right? You get 1 stack, and Eye of the Flame. Eye of the Flame is a global multiplier, so everything you have that's increasing the damage of Fire Aura, this one makes it just better. It's a multiplier of 1.15, so every damage is scaled by this one. Firebrand. Firebrand is a little bit different, right? We use this one to get Fulmination right here, 27% attack speed at 3 stacks. We convert the melee fire damage to adaptive spell damage. It's extremely strong. At 6 stacks with Wildfire, we get a lot, right? That's, I think, it's not listed here, but it's a lot. It's really, you really feel it, right? You get Pyre, that's our main damage spell outside of Fire Aura. It's a wave of fire, right? It's scanning with fire, spell, intelligence. So intelligence is always good. Intelligence gives us retention, water retention, right, and increased damage on all our stuff. Undying Fire is secondary, right? We want Everflames. Everflames refresh our stacks. So if we don't have this one and attack with Firebrand, we have each stack as an internal tick, right? And you lose like 1 tick every 5 seconds or 3 seconds. So we want this one to always have 6 stacks, even with downtime. right? We also picked up Flare and Inferno because this one is giving us a little bit of damage. So Firebrand skill levels additionally on your gear are increasing your damage, overall damage with all you do, right? So we get like 30 fire damage per skill point, so extremely strong. Spraying Flames is also nice because, well, it's damage over time. We scale this one also with our elemental damage over time, with our fire damage over time and stuff like that. So very strong. Next up is Enchant Weapon. Enchant Weapon, we grab Celerity for that 50% attack speed. It's extremely strong. We get Concentration for 4 seconds additional duration. And with all our cooldown reduction, we get to an uptime of 9 seconds while we have a cooldown of 13.4 seconds. So a lot of uptime on this one. So we always have 50% attack speed increase. We grab the melee ignite chance, a few points into Molten Steel. Got the Burst of Fire. Burst of Fire has a cooldown of 2 seconds. We can decrease this one with this one. So that's 30% decreased cooldown and 90% increased damage. What does Burst of Fire do? When we have Ignite on a target and attack in, we proc this one. And this one deals quite a lot of damage. The tooltip here is sadly bugged, but it's scaling with Fire, Spell, and Intelligence. So adaptive spell damage should add to this one. Next up is Manastrike. Manastrike is used to recover mana with this one. And Ward Strike is giving us an additional ward. We can get to around, well, if we stack everything and use everything efficiently, to around 3 to 4k ward, maybe even more, because we currently only have 16 intelligence. When we stack this one to around 70 intelligence and grab ward retention on gear and maybe even ward retention on our idols, right, we can get to around 8, maybe even 10k ward with this build. Extremely strong. We also grabbed the Swift Sap for the 20% attack speed. This one is not really mandatory, but those 2 points you can put wherever you want. I picked this one to get additional mana, to recover more mana per hit. Grabbed the Rage Sap Essential, that's 4 second buff with global increased damage. This one buffs all our damage, very strong. And Rune Sap. Rune Sap can stack, so you attack as fast as possible with your manastrike and increase your spell damage with every hit, right? So that's our skill mechanics. As you can see, a few procs right here. What about our passives? When we look at our passives, standard mage passives, we grab the Mage Flurry here, 15% increased attack speed is nice. We grab Scholar for the additional mana and health, but we really wanted Arcanist. Intelligence +5, 15% increased resistances to lightning and fire, really strong. 5 intelligence, really strong. We can convert 2 of those points and put them into this one. I didn't do this one because I needed to respec all of my stuff, so not worth the hassle. But our Spellblade build, standard here, you pick up everything on this side. You pick up everything on this side to increase your damage and proc rate and stuff like that. You get the Burden of Knowledge, that's 20 adaptive spell damage, really strong for a trade-off of 30% reduced cast speed. We don't use any spells that have a cast time. Flame Ward is instant, so nothing lost here, that's just a buff. We also want Mental Fortitude at the end. Intelligence and Ward per second is our survivability, really strong right here. Gemini for the dual wield. We want Arcane Shielding, right? This one is when we pick 5 points into this and 1 point into this, you can stack this one to 4. So that's 16% reduced damage taken. You pick up Arcane Warden and Essence Duel. Essence Duel is giving us additional attack speed and ward gain per hit. This one is only giving us ward gain per hit, but ward gain is essential for this class. You get 4 ward on melee hit, mana spend as converted to ward, really strong. You pick Warden's Echo, that's a 40% chance to proc an elemental burst that's scaled, that's converted to the damage type you do. So if you use a fire spell, it's fire. If you use an electric spell, it's electro and stuff like that. So that's a fire spell. This one is only scaling with fire and spell, so no additional intelligence scaling. Really, well, sucks, but adaptive spell damage should still apply to this one. Defender of Valiant is giving us ward retention, 40%, really strong. 160% increased burst damage, also really strong. What you can also take is the ward granted right here and the ward retention here. The ward retention, the 5 points here, you only need 6 points to grab everything right here, is extremely strong for survivability, and I would advise going this route with hardcore in mind. Now, our gear, right? So when we look at our gear, this gear is not optimized, like absolutely not optimized. I slapped like no fire damage on this one, so my procs are not dealing as much damage as they could really do. But you can go with either Scepter or a Runic Dagger for this one. You want a high attack speed roll. That's the most important part. As you can see, this weapon only has the attack speed right here and the adaptive spell damage. That's how good this piece of gear is. For this one, a low level base, but you don't really care about the melee physical damage. You only care about attack speed. This one shares the best attack speed for swords with the katana at 1.25, a very fast attack speed. You want as much attack speed as you can get on this one. Everything else on this sword is pretty much useless for my build. As far as body armors go, you can either pick the ward retention one or this adaptive spell damage one. I picked the adaptive spell damage one because damage is king. You want fire arrow damage on your chest and on your helmet, and you want skill charges, right? Skill charges on your stuff. So flame ward gets 1 charge and ward when you use it. That's a very strong prefix you can get on this one. But on your helmet or even on your chest, you can get Firebrand levels. Firebrand levels will boost your damage by insane amounts, like 30% fire damage over time, right? That's really strong. Fire penetration is really strong. Elemental damage of time is really strong. Health, flat health, and percent health, stuff like that. With elemental damage over time, fire damage really strong. On your belt, same thing here. Elemental damage over time just scales immensely with your build. The only unique that's really strong on this build is the wing guard. It's giving us 30 to 40% melee attack speed. As far as our boots go, there are a few boots you can use. This one has 30% movement speed, so I use this one, like 29 plus 12, stuff like that, and a lot of health. You want intelligence on your gear if you go hardcore, right? Fire damage is nice. You don't really need more damage than I currently have on my build, but intelligence is king. It will increase your damage, it will increase your survivability. As far as our idols go, you have multiple options for the idols, but I opted for the large idols right here. You can get increased fire damage on this one, fire arrow damage. You have 2 of those. Spell fire damage is also extremely nice because, well, flat damage is really hard to come by, so every point matters a lot. What's also nice is you can grab chance to cast fire on kill with fire skills. Since we are using a lot of fire skills, this one is really nice. As far as other idols, I have humble idols here, but I can also use small idols to increase my resistances, get leech and stuff like that on my build that I'm missing throughout gear. You can grab something like this. That's a very strong chest. It's not crafted yet, but it has intelligence on it. It has increased health percentage, a really nice roll, a tier 6 roll, and flat health. You can boost the flat health, the intelligence, grab fire aura or the flame ward charge. I would opt for the fire aura damage and make this chest a really strong. All other gear stuff, related stuff, is down in the description box in my loot filter. You can just look through it, as I will show you a sneak peek right here. It's looking like that. You just have different things set up right here in the prefix thingy. You can adjust the loot filter strictness for each prefix. You can change your prefixes right here and what item bases you want right here. So that's that in the description box. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. You can leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment if you like this one. You can follow me on Twitter with regular updates for my streaming schedule, since I stream on Twitch/Mordarim. I'll be glad to have you there. I usually stream MMORPGs and ARPGs, so you will 100% find something you like there. See you next time. Bye.